A pioneer in the United States Coast Guard was laid to rest today at the age of 102. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker spoke to people at her visitation today who talk about the mark she left on the Coast Guard.
Lois always was warm-hearted and kind. You know, Lois embodied, what it meant to be a patriot. She advocated for, cared about, was a champion for Coasties, for our Coast Guardsmen and all service members.
Lois Bouton, known as the Coast Guard Lady, served our country in the U.S. Coast Guard during World War II, where she was a radio operator at the Coast Guard radio station in New Jersey. But her nickname came from her passion of writing letters to service members across the globe. Retired Master Chief Petty Officer Vince Patton says she at least wrote 100,000 letters, but thinks it was likely many more. He came to know Bouton after being on the receiving end of one of her letters when he was new to the Coast Guard.
She just talked about everything under the sun, but just the fact that when you read her letters, it was just sunshine all the time. So I always will remember her as happy. And seeing how bright the sun is shining today, it's a Lois Bouton day.
Bouton was discharged from the Coast Guard in 1945 and started writing her letters in the 1970s after the Vietnam War. Rear Admiral Joanna Noonan exchanged letters with Bouton for 35 years up until the day she died.
There were some gaps along the way, but I'll tell you, any gaps in letter writing were on my part, not on Lois's part. One of the things that I think about that I feel that Lois and the other SPARs gave the women that came after them so many opportunities.
As Bouton got older and had trouble writing and seeing, her caregiver and friend of almost 40 years, Pauline Lassiter, helped her write and send all those letters.
She was the most humble, unselfish, caring, best listener. She was like my second mother, my best friend, my mentor. But she was like that to thousands of people.
In Rogers, covering news where you live, Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
On her 100th birthday, Bouton was given the rank of Honorary Master Chief Petty Officer. She's also received many honors over the years, including the Coast Guard Distinguished Public Service Award, the Spirit of Hope Award, and was made an Honorary Commodore in the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary.